As of right now, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt next gen version is supposed to be releasing by the end of 2022. We are now into October and we are into the 3 months in which they said the game would release, and we have no news other than it will release in the last quarter of 2022, and we have a single image to go off that you can see on screen now. So we'll be looking at whether this has been delayed again, and I really hope that that isn't the case. We'll also be looking at the new Witcher titles that CDPR have announced in their latest strategy update, and whether that was actually a good idea. But just before we do get into all of that, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. Are you interested in starting your very own Discord server, but you just simply don't know where to start? Well, I've got you covered. I've been using Discord daily for many years now, and in that time I've created and managed many servers, some of which have achieved over 5,000 active members. I've worked with YouTubers with over 150,000 subscribers and even cryptocurrency organizations. So whatever the server may be, I can confidently say that I'll be able to create and even manage an active server for your community. These servers will include really popular features and a very professional design. And if you want the best of the best, I can even throw in your very own custom Discord bot. So if you are interested in getting started or have any questions, then hit the link in the description or the pinned comment that will take you straight to my Fiverr page. So let's first get on to whether The Witcher 3 next gen version has been delayed. This next gen version of The Witcher 3 has already been through its fair share of delays, and I think that is definitely safe to say. A lot of people, including myself, thought that this would actually be the time in which it released, and it still could be. We got told by CDPR that The Witcher 3 next gen version would release in Q4 of 2022, that being October, November and December. We are currently halfway through October and we have no word or anything new really regarding the next gen version of The Witcher 3. We have had some 20th anniversary CDPR live streams. One of them was about The Witcher 3, and one of them did mention that they did fix a bug for one of the Easter eggs in the Witcher 3 next gen version, but we don't actually have any news other than that. That was all they really said, since it did seem in that live stream that they weren't really allowed to say anything about the next gen version, so it looks like they are holding off on it for a bit. As game developers go, CD Projekt RED certainly is one of the ones that's up there with delaying their games. We've seen it with Cyberpunk 2077, and we've also seen it with this next gen version of The Witcher 3. I should also mention that in general, we don't really know that much about this next gen version. We know that it's going to have ray tracing, it's going to be on PS5, it will also be on the Xbox Series S and X, PC is a free update, and then there will be some new DLC that will release on all platforms, which includes PS4, Xbox One, and even Nintendo Switch. But in terms of the next gen upgrades, it will just be that classic next gen upgrade really, with the ray tracing, higher resolution, and of course the 60 FPS. But we don't really have anything other than that, other than the image I showed before. We have no gameplay, nothing really at all. So any day now we could get some news regarding this next gen version, whether that'll be more news about the game and a release date, or if it'll be them announcing another delay. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think the game will be delayed again. I think there's a good chance now it will release in December. I think it's getting a bit too late for it to release in November personally. We could get an announcement by the end of October, it's possible. We'll just have to see how things go. A lot of people were assuming they're waiting for everything on the Cyberpunk side of things to die down with patch 1.6 and everything like that, and I would say that we're getting near the end of that now. Obviously Cyberpunk has just had a massive comeback, so maybe they did want to hold it out a bit and wait for that to all die down, and then they announced The Witcher 3, and then that'll build up hype on the other side of things. Now, if we were to look at something that maybe suggests that it isn't delayed, that is in the CDPR strategy update. We got this on October 4th, and near the end of that strategy update, it did say that The Witcher 3 Next Gen will release in 2022. So this could be seen as emphasizing that it will still release in 2022. We didn't get any new news or anything like that. We just it was almost a confirmation in a way. So we do have some sort of thing to go off that says it will release this year, and I do think this is quite big, and it shows us that it will release in 2022. I think a delay is unlikely. Obviously, people are going to have their doubts, and that's pretty understandable with how things have gone in the past, but I do think that it will release this year. In terms of when to expect more news, I think we could get some maybe by the end of this month, and if not by the end of this month, then definitely in November, and then I would say a December release is starting to look quite likely. So yeah, to put that into a little conclusion, we did get some sort of confirmation from CDPR that it will release this year, and when to expect news, I would say by the end of this month or sometime in November with a December release. So now let's move on to CDPR announcing these new Witcher titles in their strategy update. Now, obviously we already had news about the new Witcher saga, and we knew that we would be getting, well, The Witcher 4, if that's what you want to call it, and we already did have that announced. But in this strategy update, they did also mention 2 other Witcher related titles. And this was also on top of them saying that they aim to release all 3 games in this new Witcher saga in a 6-year period, which is pretty insane. Now this isn't 6 years starting from now, this is 6 years starting from the next Witcher game releasing, and then 6 years after that they aim to release another 2 games within that time period. But like I did mention, they also put in 2 other Witcher related projects. One of them is an innovative take on the Witcher universe, telling an unforgettable story for existing Witcher fans and new audiences. It says that this is currently in the pre-production stage, and that this is developed by an external company with the support of CD Projekt RED, with there currently being over 60 people involved. In terms of The Witcher 4, they mentioned that this is also in the pre-production stage with over 150 people involved, and this is just developed by the CDPR team. Then there is a third Witcher project. This is a story-driven single-player open-world RPG set within the Witcher universe. This is contracted to be developed by a third-party studio led by ex-Witcher veterans. So this is all the news we have right now. Obviously this isn't loads of news, but you wouldn't expect that considering this is all in pre-production. Now a lot of people have been saying that they shouldn't have announced this so early, and this is the mistake that they've made before with Cyberpunk. And I can see where they're coming from with that. Now, this Witcher 4 announcement I think was okay because that was a massive one, and that is a game that I think everyone was certain would release at some point with the success of The Witcher 3. But the other 2 Witcher projects, maybe they did announce them too early. Considering they are in pre-production, there's always a chance that things could fall apart and they just aren't able to develop the game anymore, and that would just be disappointing the fans. Now, obviously we don't really know how far into this pre-production stage they are, but if it really is early days, then there's always a chance things could fall apart. So yeah, it's hard to see why they announced it so early, but at the same time we really didn't get much news to go off, so there's no reason to get too excited. So there are arguments both ways, but obviously CD Projekt RED are the experts here, and they hopefully know what they're doing. So yeah, if they want to announce it, then that's what they can do, and at the end of the day it does build a bit of hype. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether The Witcher 3 Next Gen has been delayed, and if you think announcing these Witcher projects was a good idea. Personally, I don't think that The Witcher 3 Next Gen will be delayed, and I don't think that announcing these Witcher projects was that bad of an idea, although they didn't really need to, if that makes sense. If you did enjoy this video though, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. And if you are interested in starting your very own Discord server, then check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. So, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.